Hey guys, how are we today? I'm just in my house, so I just finished cleaning the loft. The whole HO train layout thing for my kid. I spent a couple hours on it this morning. De-dusted it, de-cat haired it. This little guy, little black and white guy here, he just disappeared. This little fucker. He likes to go up there. I recently actually blocked the bottom of the closet door. There's like a 1.5 inch gap at the bottom of the closet door for the loft of the house. And he's the smallest cat, so he tends to run up there under the door frame. But anyways, this little fucking guy here, he's my little baby, but he's a little pain in the ass. So since I'm down in my living room, this is one of the youngest cat Patches. He's actually the smartest cat in the house. This is my dog Gracie. I've had her. She's a U.S. dog. We got her in. Where did we get her? We got her in New York somewhere. She's been with us since she was like 6 weeks old. She was such a small. She was the size of a rabbit when I got her. She hasn't got much bigger, but she was really small when I got her. This is Trinket. We actually got him from a pound a few years ago. He was 8 years old when we got him, and my girlfriend actually paid, at the time, paid $400 for this purebred Pomeranian who was, I believe he was 8 years old at the time. And his name is Trinket. And he's kind of a scared dog. He's kind of a sick dog now. He's actually probably not going to last much longer. He has no teeth. He's going blind. He coughs a lot. He doesn't puke, but he coughs a lot. At night, you can hear him coughing and choking. He's a good dog. We almost lost him about 4 years ago, actually. He ended up choking to death. Well, not choking to death, but he choked from his collar. His tag was stuck between the 2x4s. Oh, you can't see it through the window, but his collar got stuck between the 2x4s. Man, you can see a little bit there behind the window. And he basically kept turning and turning to the point where he was choking himself to death. And I had some family members over at the time, and we didn't even realize what was happening until he started actually like really, really crying and whining. So basically, it was like a 15-minute fiasco. We had to go underneath the deck and hammer his tag up through the crack in the deck. And he was basically shooting blood out of his mouth at that point, but he lived. I got him out, and he lived. But this was again about 4 or 5 years ago. So he is a lucky little dog. He's still going. But yeah, he coughs a lot and he's just not well, but he still eats, he still runs around. Trinket. He has no teeth. I think he has one bottom tooth in his mouth. Anyways, there's a couple other cats in here, but I don't want to bore you with cats. This is our new kitchen. Well, not new. It was done a couple of years ago. All granite tiles. Stainless steel dishwasher, stainless steel hooded microwave, as well as gas stove. Biggest Panasonic, I think Panasonic, I don't know what I was thinking. Biggest Samsung fridge you could get. This was only like 3 years ago. Stainless steel garbage can, yay. This is another cat of mine. Her name's Molly. She has a brother named Benjamin. And he's about a 16-pound orange cat. I might run into him along the way. But these are the two that are usually around. He is a smart cat. He's like, this is our old kitchen. What happened was, our fridge died. Which was over here in this little corner here. So when it died, my wife wanted to get a really nice fridge. The problem was the way there was countertops in here, like these overhead counters. there were some over here too at the time, and she picked this fridge, and when it got delivered, it would not fit in this corner, and it stuck out in this doorway. So the whole plan was, well, let's just make a kitchen over in the dining room area. So this is basically an IKEA kitchen, thrown together, built. It's probably about 6 months worth of work here. Plus we had to basically tear down all the, we have wainscoting all the way around. We still put some molding back up here. But there was like wainscoting with a shelf all the way around, about the size, probably the height of this countertop. We tore it all out, we repainted, we did the ceiling and all the drywall. So this is what we ended up with. It's not quite done. There's not even handles on any of the doors or the cupboard doors or anything like this. But this is the, I don't even remember what you call these cupboard doors. You push them in and they go in the rest of the way on their own. There's like a spring mechanism. I really don't remember what they're called. This is a really raw vlog, guys, but anyway. You know, they just kind of suck in once you get close, about an inch or two away, so they don't slam. So yeah, this is the newest kitchen. Like I said, there's no handles on the doors yet, and there's actually another overhead that's supposed to go over in this wall, but we have never done it. This sink was $1,000. It's a double farmer sink. Yeah. The girlfriend likes to go big or go home kind of thing. So yeah, this is our old kitchen. So we have 3 cats, and basically this is their little breakfast area on this end of the old kitchen. The sinks aren't usable anymore. Nothing over here is usable. I don't even think there's anything in these cupboards anymore. This is basically a dead room. We just haven't torn out the actual old portion of the kitchen. So this is basically where we feed the cats. And they come up here for breakfast because this really is just nothing to us. And if we feed the cats on the floor, then the dogs eat the cat food, so we keep everything a little separate. Moving up. So guys, I just wanted to do this really quick because I had actually just cleaned this HO train layout. I de-haired it, I de-dusted it. Now I'm just going up to the room, going up to the second level. I've never really done a house tour of any kind on here, but I guess you're gonna get a little bit here. So this is the second level, my messy bedroom. My clothes, I had put all my laundry on the bed here. I get to it after. I've been really slacking today. I feel like I've had like 5 or 6 beer even just because I have nothing to do all afternoon, and I haven't eaten yet. This is my big ass bathroom. Like I said, I might as well do a little bit of a house tour while I'm going upstairs. So we got cabinets all the way down. Shower and tub. There's actually a light in the shower. Oops, wrong light. Light in the shower. Him and her sink. My kid's messy bedroom. My wife's office, and then into the secret dungeon here. Ow. Alright, so yes, I cleaned this up a little bit today. I didn't go crazy, like dusting or anything like that. Sorry guys. Just trying to do a bunch of stuff at one time here. So we're going up. I got all the lights on already. So I organized a little bit up here today, and I got the train in layout going for my kid. Well, actually, I have not got it going yet. I just basically cleaned it up, got all the hair off it, put all the track ballast back as much as I could because, like, I have 3 cats and they must have all been up here. Like I said, I have about a 1.5 foot, maybe a 1 foot gap at the bottom of that closet door. So our cats just basically crawled under it and up the stairs, but I've put a piece of wood there and they can't get up here anymore. So my kid can't get up here because there's also an eyelet lock on the door. So The only one to get up here is me, basically, because I put it up about 7 feet high, and not even my wife could reach it unless she stood on a chair. So anyways, so this train layout, yeah, I cleaned it all up. I put everything back. Like, I don't know how to start with this train layout. Again, I've never done a train layout, and this took me a few months, maybe 2 to 3 months during a winter one year. And it was just one of those winters that was super cold, like minus 30, like for like ever, and it would never warm up. So I came up here and I spent a lot of time up here. The only problem with this train layout is, if you look underneath it, I actually built this base off one of those folding 7-foot tables or whatever it is, or 5-foot tables. I have not 5-foot tables, but it's actually pretty much a 4x8 table. But actually, I don't know why I was even saying 5-foot table. It's a folding table, and it's obviously 4x8 because I bought the 4x8 piece of plywood, and it fit right on top of this table. Oh, sorry, no. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. The table is underneath. It is probably about 5 feet. Sorry for my messy wiring job. I wired this table up, and I never actually like hung or like put the wires up at all. I kind of just finished the table, and it's not something that I come up and use all the time, so it's something that gets avoided. And I keep saying to myself, I really got to put these wires up. But there's nobody else up here usually besides me, and it's not usually on power-wise, so I just never did it. Anyways, it's one of those folding tables, and I built a 4x8 piece of plywood off of that table and drilled and bolted it to the table because I had no reason that I wanted to build an actual table for this train layout, and I had this table sitting up here. And again, guys, this is a very narrow little staircase. Like, I can't even tell you, it is probably like maybe 4.5 feet wide at the top, but the bottom is a little slimmer. And I swear to God, if you were a drunk person going down these stairs, they are super steep, and these stairs are only about maybe 3 feet, if 3 feet long, or wide, I should say. So they are very steep. This is the top. Going up, people think they're like climbing a mountain or something because it is so steep. But anyways, I dedusted this train layout, and I took everything off, and I put it back on in the little locomotive area here. I have not tried it yet. I cleaned all the rails, but I have not tried it yet. So I figured, why not try it now? It's been about 2 years since I've turned this on, so all I did with this, like I said, this is my first one, so all I did was put a power bar. It's the main power. So all my lights and everything come on. So under this, or beside, I should say, behind the Baja, I have a few old RC car boxes. There's a HPI D8, D8S. There's actually an old Inferno 4-wheel drive box under there. One of the Gravedigger ones I got for my son. And there's actually an HPI Crawler King back here box too. All my other boxes are either downstairs in my big office or behind the curtains here. Like I said, I don't know why I keep showing this, but this is my wife's little closet area. So we have clothes here and a bunch of junk in the middle, and clothes and a bunch of junk over there. Behind all those clothes, though, there is other older RC boxes that I have kept around because I absolutely have no room in this house for anything else. So all the extra stuff comes up to this room because it's really the only room left in the house to put anything else. I do plan on selling this house in the next few years and hopefully moving into a lot bigger. This is a big house, but just the way because it's like 100-year-old house, so all the rooms are kind of confined and just twisted around in the weirdest ways. But it still works out, and that's one of the reasons I liked this house when I first looked at it, is because it was unique, and it was an old house, and I knew it was basically a safe and a strong house. But it does have its little issues, and we have fixed a hell of a lot. Like, we put hardwood floors in every part of the house. The living room was carpeted when we first moved in, and we put all hardwood in there. We hardwooded the kitchen, the new kitchen, the living room, all the bedrooms upstairs. We've painted numerous times. We have a new electrical panel in the basement because after 5 years, half the panel stopped working and it was shorting out everything in the house. It was actually kind of a shitty time because it was also the middle of winter. So the heat went out. Oh, it was just a fucking mess. Anyways, we've spent so much money on this house to the point where I'd like to stay here a few more years and get my fucking, money's worth. Plus, we're not even close to being paid this house. But I would like to sell this house in a couple of years. But anyways, let's move forward with this train layout. So I got the power on. I got my lights on. So it is parked here. Let's see if it moves. I like to start this thing off slow because, again, I was an amateur when I built this, even though it might look... And here's the thing with this. It is a 4x8 layout, but I had so much track and I have so much flex track that I absolutely wanted to make this layout as big as it could be, which is why I have all the tracks on the very outside perimeter of this piece of wood. I wanted the most track on this table. I didn't want to have a 4x8 piece of wood and then make all the track in this inner area, and I just wanted a lot of track on a small table. So this layout is basically just kind of went as I started to work. I just kind of laid it out, and there's actually corkboard under these tracks, and believe it or not, this isn't actually ballast. When I started doing this is a very inexpensive train layout, and when I first started going and getting all the supplies, I found ballast was ridiculously expensive for what it is. So you know what I went and did? I went and bought a big fucking 5-pound bag of limestone. That's all limestone. Just spray it the same way with glue and water so it would dry. It is all limestone. It's not actual bought ballast. There is some ballast, thinner ballast, that I have thrown around the tracks. I've thrown around the rails, and of course I put some actual ground dirt. The stuff that shakes out of the shaker. Actually, it's this stuff right here. Scenic Master ground cover, light brown. It looks really, really good. And these little trees, I just got them as a little bonus one day, so I kind of just scattered them around. This is again for a 6-year-old boy. So, and yeah, there is some of that fine gray ballast around here though. And there's a little bit of grease, that I got some of that black kind of fine stuff too, and I kind of spread it around in places. There was dirt and grease all over the rails. I actually wanted to put some more, and I just never done it yet. But yeah, this was not really a thought out process at all. I just basically started on one corner, and this is really what I ended up with. Like I said, I wanted the most track on a small layout, and it just kind of went as I went as I go as I went, whatever you want to call it. It wasn't planned out, and I looked at a lot of YouTube videos, and they were so totally different. I just thought, well, this is the best way to go. Just get a bunch of flex track and just start at the outside and kind of work my way into a bunch of turns. So that's what I ended up doing. And then, of course, I got a little bit of scenery, and I bought a few little trees that actually the cats have kind of knocked over and kind of chucked some leaves off. But at the same time, it kind of makes for a little more scenery, actually. There's little pieces of tree here kind of thing. So I kind of leave it there as a little bush area, little bushes in the middle of the sand or the dirt. In this tunnel, I just kind of bought that at a whim, and there is actually an old caboose in there, but the cabooses kind of went back further into the track. And all these end tracks, I haven't installed the lights in these ones, but they are in these ones. This one, I think the bulb burnt, but this one I've kind of been using as a, it's basically like my track tester, or the power tester, I guess. So when I put this on, oh, hold on. When I put this on, I go off of this light to tell me if there's any, like, dirty tracks or anything, like where there's being power lost. This is what I use this little light for here. I know what the light is, but I basically use it because the problem with building this layout is I built it on a table, and I used to have it kind of stuck in the corner over here beside this monitor. Like, it was right wedged in the corner. You can even see where the table was scratched in my black paint on the wall. But then I thought, well, if I never even need to fix anything on the track, I can't get back there to do anything. Otherwise, I gotta stretch across the table, and I can't make it. I mean, it's still almost 5 feet across with all the crap in the way. Plus, this is a low ceiling portion here. But I decided to pull the table out off the wall, so if I did need to get over in this location over here anywhere, I could actually reach it without disturbing any of the scenery or the trees or any of that shit, and it was just less hassle. But the train does go around. Again, it was off a folding table, so in the center it does actually go like down, like as you see right now. It does kind of slope down a little bit, and then here it kind of slopes up a little bit before it goes around the bends. And also, again, no plans in this track layout, but I did use flex track in a lot of the turns and a lot of the bends, such as here. But this bend right here, it is a very, very, very sharp bend. And sometimes with this one long container on the back, it does not want to take that bend, and sometimes it jumps the track. Once in a while it'll do it. It hasn't done it the last few times I tried it, but I probably, just because I'm recording right now, it would do it. But usually I just leave it on. I put a lot of switches in here. There's a couple that aren't powered. There's a few that are actually manual, but there is like 10 switches on this layout. But I just leave it on the way it is right now, because when my kid turns it on, he doesn't really understand how it switches, and all he would do is basically derail the train. And then it's just a big mess, and you gotta go around without like breaking anything. And like I said, this is my first one, and I was actually really proud of doing this. If I had it my way and I had another house, what I would like to do is like build a layout along the wall. That is my ultimate goal. If I ever have a house that has a really nice square room, I would like to do an HO train layout just around the wall, just to build a shelf right around the room and have the track layout like that. Not just a little table, but have it laid out right around the room. Then you're not like interfering with the room. There's like, what, a 2-foot shelf off the wall around the room. You know what I mean? It's not in the way. Doing this actually took up a lot of the space in this room. It is a 4x8 sheet, which is quite a big piece to be in this little room. Like, I had a couch here before with an end table and an armchair over here. But because he got so into the trains, I built this little layout. I am very proud of it because, like I said, when I was a kid, I hated this shit. Every time I would lose contact, I would just pack it up in the box and it would be fucking gone forever. I didn't get into it very much as a kid. Sorry guys, I'm tired and I need to eat. But yeah, I didn't get into HO trains as much as a kid. I liked it. It was really interesting, but I just never got into it. I couldn't deal with it. I never had the mentality to deal with the train when it lost the power, and then finding the part that was losing the power, it just drove me nuts. But this, it isn't so bad. I kind of enjoy watching it myself, and I'm almost 40 years old. It's just another addition to the room. This is a hobby room. So it's a small room, but I have pretty much everything I love or like I love in my life, or it is in this room. Whether it's Gravedigger or RC cars or HO layouts, everything, like, it's here. It's in this room. I have my garage, but my garage is a garage. It's a dirty, dusty garage, and in the wintertime, it's not as enjoyable to sit out there and relax and watch TV or whatever as it is in the summer. So, train just came off the tracks. I haven't even filed down the rails or anything yet. I just kind of cleaned all the rails. Occasionally, I do have to clean the rails because, like I said, I tried to fit as much track on this table as I could, and there's some curves that just weren't curved enough, and I had to actually flex it. Such as this rail right here. Right where it joins here, there is a little bit of a flex here. This side's not too bad, but sometimes it'll jump off right here or right here. Just because I tried to flex that track as much as I could again and get as much on this table as I could. So anyways, I got it going. I cleaned it all up. It is what it is. I do not have any scenery or buildings or crossings or anything like that. I just wanted to get as much train and track layout as I could on this table. And I got a hell of a lot of track on this table, believe it or not. And even with these little V's in the center here, as well as the one that goes under that tunnel, I mean, I just put those there because I wanted more track on this table. I just thought with more track, it would look a lot more better. Not necessarily more realistic, but a lot more better just because it's filled. It is 3-track all the way around, but I generally only use the 2 outside perimeter tracks just because it's not a huge layout, and my 6-year-old kid does use this, so I don't need a bunch of crap going on when I'm not up here. It's just easier that way, less stress. I don't have to fix or figure out if he broke anything or anything like that, or look around if something happened to it. It's just less stressful to me. So I gotta flick this fucking switch off again, and I might actually unplug this. So yeah, this was a little longer of a video than I was planning on doing, but yeah, this is basically the room. I mean, this is how it is, basically, usually when it's clean. All I can do. I have to do a little more dusting. This is a little, what's it called? Slot car track I got for my kid there a couple years ago, but we built it, and he has a little playroom down on the main floor, but I just don't have room to keep this together anywhere. I'm going to try sliding it out of this table on plastic so I can just pull it out and then push it back in, because it does grip this rug a little bit and you can't just slide it around this rug. But at this point I have nowhere to put it, so it's kind of just tossed up on the shelf, and it's a pain in the ass to put together and take apart, so we just rather keep it together until he gets totally bored of it, and I'll throw it out one day. But yeah, this is pretty much the room. I have Gravedigger everything up here. Basically, this is a picture of my kid in North Carolina at Digger's Dungeon. I just got a good shot with him and framed it. We go there all the time, and he's only been there one time, so that was his first frame picture that I got. There's a couple downstairs smaller, but that's a big picture. And then I put a couple of these pictures up today too, because they're all falling and they've been stuck together. I've used that teacher's goop or whatever, that blue shit. I don't know if you can tell what that is, but it's this little, I don't know what the hell. It's almost like Play-Doh, but it's supposed to stick. And they used to hold pictures up in classrooms with the stuff, but it doesn't hold these pictures up because it gets so hot up here in the summer. But yeah, this is me with a ride truck. Me with the monument over here. I do have pictures. I got tons of pictures of my wife. Monster, my Dalmatian. I have a ton of pictures, but they're all stuck together. There's a few up here too that haven't fallen off the walls yet. Blue Thunder. It's the start of my tattoo. And I got all this kind of stuff here too. This is actually a piece of the RC Gravedigger jump that sits on the yard. I don't know if it's still there, but last time I was there, I kind of snatched that because it was already hanging off the roof of the jump, which is this jump right here. It was hanging up here. So I was in here and I grabbed it because it was already ripped off. So I hung it up on my little bulletin board here. Anyway, guys, just a bunch of like random souvenirs and hobby stuff up here. So I hope you enjoyed watching this. It's a little bit of a longer video than I normally would do, but I thought it'd be fun to do it because I had everything cleaned up here. Again, not the best videos. I'm well aware of that. I'm not like a true YouTuber or anything like that. But hope you enjoyed watching it. It's just another guy with a bunch of hobbies. Thanks for watching, guys.